Well, everyone, welcome to the show. I'm glad to again be joined by my friend and business partner, Mr. Michael Vincent, podcaster extraordinaire. You know, Michael is president and CEO of OPT USA, reducing plastic waste and bringing monetary gains. And then we also work together with the CyberFuels, reducing fuel, reducing emissions, reducing repairs, all out there trying to help everybody make a little bit more money while helping the planet.
True win-win, my friend.
It is a true win-win.
All the way around. I win, you win, they win, everybody wins.
Absolutely. You know, today's main topic, we're going to be talking about a $393 billion investment in clean fuels. So it's a lot of money, you know. So I found this article from McKinsey. So McKinsey said, the Inflation Reduction Act directs nearly $400 billion in federal funding to clean energy, with the goal of substantially lowering the nation's carbon emissions by the end of this decade. And I'll dig in a little bit further. It actually works out to be $393.7 billion in funding as you dig in. But who's counting when we're talking about billions of dollars, right?
You're only off by 300 million, dude. So, you know, that's change.
Right.
Chump change.
Exactly.
Chump change, really.
You probably have that in the couch in the living room, right?
I'll tell you what, let me check my wallet.
Your wallet would have to be full of diamonds, I'm afraid, if we were
the last time my wallet had cash in it was like 2015, dude.
I know. I hardly ever have hardly any cash anymore. So if you're a robber, don't pick me because I'm just, you know, it's not happening. So,
yeah, you know, it's a crazy amount of money. Are we you want to dig into what some of this money is?
Sure. Yeah, we can. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because it's not, I mean, when they put out these things in like the IRA, and I have fun saying the IRA because what are you talking about? I actually had a friend who was in the IRA, but we'll talk about that off air.
Right.
If anybody remembers the IRA, but in this Inflation Reduction Act, it's not just money, right? It's loan. They are loans. Some of it's loans, right? But a lot of it is tax incentives, right? Is really what it is, right? That's how they spend their money. We're not going to take your money. That's how we're giving you money.
Right.
Which, you know, oh, gee, thanks. As long as I do what you say, I get to keep my money.
True that.
But at the other end, the other side of me loves the fact that we're putting these incentives out there because, dude, we are so far behind in many different areas in the United States. It's unreal, right? You see, we don't even have carbon tax yet. We're going to be paying carbon tax for dealing with Europe before we even pay it in the United States.
Right. Absolutely.
It's absolutely crazy. So like 216 billion of it is tax incentives to corporations, which makes sense, right? Because that's almost like Reaganomics, but backwards, right? I mean, the corporations are the ones that are going to make, you don't want to give a tax incentive to me and you when we go to the gas pump, because that's not going to impact anything, right? It's the corporations, the big, like we're trying to do CyberFuels with the fleets. We hit the fleets and get something done. Now we can move the needle, right? Like we said, move the needle.
Right. Exactly.
And in CyberFuels case, it's actually, part of it is not moving that needle. It doesn't go from F to E as fast.
Exactly. Moving that.
What I did there.
You're going to be slowing down the needle.
See what I did there?
You did it. Absolutely. You know, but when I was looking at this, $393.7 billion is a lot of money. And it made me kind of wonder, like, let's look at that comparatively to the gross domestic product of other countries. So I found this article. It's on Worldometers, and it's got numbers by World Bank of the top 190 countries. So it turns out 393.7 billion is actually higher than the GDP of many well-known places in the world. You might have heard of some of these. Israel, Ireland, Denmark, Singapore. You know, when I was
Wow.
Reading about this. Singapore, I was lucky to work there for 8 months one year. And it was the very first time I ever tasted Thai food, and I fell in love. Like, I don't know if you can have a bromance with a food, but if I could, it's Thai food. What's your favorite international cuisine, Michael?
I'm going to sound like I'm just following you, but it's Thai food.
Oh man, isn't it good?
Yeah, no, it really is. And I love it. And my wife fell in love with it about 4 years ago. I convinced her to go to a Thai restaurant with me. And actually, there's a couple here in Chattanooga that I'm told by international travelers, really, they stack up to just about the best that is out there.
Very nice.
Even like they would not be upset if they were getting served that food if they were in Thailand, the one place, which is really saying something. But yeah, and I'm actually learning how to cook it. There's a great Asian market down the street from me, and they're an older couple who speak decent English. But I go in there and I say, this is, I show them a picture. This is what I want to make, right? And they help me with the authentic ingredients and how to do it and stuff like that. So, like, I'll make you some fresh basil rolls that'll knock your socks off.
Really?
Yeah. And Dan noodles, street noodles, that type of stuff. I got that stuff down. Yeah, it's pretty good. And yeah, I mean, one of the secrets is fish sauce, dude.
Fish sauce.
You got to have fish sauce.
Who would have thought about fish sauce?
Yeah, fish sauce. You got to have fish sauce. But yeah. So I'm actually learning more and more about how to make Thai food, because it's incredibly healthy for you, and fresh, and it doesn't take long to make it, right? I mean, authentic miso soup and that type of stuff and I love it. I'm with you. Thai food, baby.
Thai food's right up there, man. My wife had never, she was meats and potatoes mostly, but many years ago, I took her to a Thai restaurant. And she said, I can't eat this. We tried it, and now we go about once a month or once every month, a month and a half. It is off the charts good. But there was actually 162 countries on that list that have a GDP less than $393.7 billion per year.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this list, right? And this is so. I mean, the cutoff point is what's Norway?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah,
it's there, just 11. Well, yeah, 10.7 billion off is the United Arab Emirates.
Right, exactly.
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right to me, but I guess it is, right? That doesn't sound like it should be.
They've done some good things to bring in a lot of revenue there.
Yeah. I mean, that is, but you're right. And some of these that are just so small, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. There is quite a few on this list that I've never heard before. That's a country, but yeah,
that Bolivia has 37 billion. I've been to Bolivia, man. I don't know where they're keeping that 37 billion.
Yep, I know it, man. Georgia, not the state, but the country, Georgia. Yeah. They're at 15 billion. Looks like Gabon. Is that Gabon? Is that Gabon? I don't know. I don't know where that is, honestly. But
Gambia. Are you looking at Gambia or no?
Nope. Number 119 on the list is Gabon or Gabon. $15 billion GDP. I don't honestly know. If anybody of you guys out there in the audience know where that is, please chime in and let us know. I've never seen that particular country before. So. But anyways, it's a lot of money, obviously. And like you said, Michael, some of it's tax incentives, some of it's loans. There's grants. It's various different avenues of actual money. But, you and I are on this mission to help companies save money while reducing emissions, reducing fuel, reducing plastics waste, all of the things, right? And
absolutely.
There are definitely cleaner burning fuels than straight diesel. But industry has to have the tools to allow them to use these other mixes of fuels without increasing their fuel bills through the roof and their repair bills, right? So otherwise, of course, they're just going to drag their feet and oppose it.
Well, and a lot of them are also you can't afford to lose 8% of your mileage, right? The energy density of these alternative fuels isn't there. Even though they're cleaner, they may be cleaner in per gallon or per pound or per molecule or whatever you want to call it, unit of measure burned. But then the unit of economics or the efficiency of it in the mileage loss, maybe they're not so green, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking with executives. They would love to clean up the environment more, right? And but when you're talking about losing 200 million a year, 500 million a year, that's tough to take to a board and go, guys, I got this great idea. I want to use this biodiesel blend. We're going to lose $500 million a year, but hey, it's going to help. It's going to burn cleaner. What do you think? I don't think that board meeting is going to go very well.
No, it really isn't. And that's the difficult part of what we're doing here, or what we, the collective, we as a planet, as a civilization are trying to do here, is everybody wants that to happen, but nobody wants the economy to tank. Right. Except the opposite parties. Then for some reason they want, but whatever party, that's agnostic. It doesn't matter what party you are. If the other party's president's in power, then they obviously want to tank the economy. That's what I've learned in my 7 years on the planet. But and it doesn't matter which one is there. Oh, we'd want to have to get political. But I mean, you're putting it, you're nailing it right on the head. Is there are ways, and that's what we're scraping through, is to figure out how to make those steps in a sustainable way from economic, right? Because if you just rely on the altruism of the human spirit or whatever, a corporation isn't altruistic. It doesn't have emotions. It's there to serve certain purposes, right? And even those with a social mission, right, have to survive and make money, and they're going to make decisions to do that. Now, that doesn't make them evil in any way. It just means that we have got to do a better job of putting forth those that are much more difficult than the ones that are just, hey, give me some money and I'll clean some stuff up, and I'm not going to make any money, but I'll make it cleaner, or you'll lose a little money. Those are the easy solutions, right? The difficult ones are the ones that actually make money and clean up the situation, right?
Right. And that's what we're doing. So being able to burn less fuel while using a biodiesel blend and reducing emissions right there at combustion, that's a win-win scenario. Save money, reduce emissions, burn cleaner, all of the things. And I see these news articles, and I know you do as well. They come out with this flash in the pan. Oh, we've released this new electric locomotive, for example. And there's nothing in it about the total carbon footprint required to support the rail industry, right? For the electricity that you're going to need, the infrastructure, the additional carbon you're going to use by losing capacity on every engine, and that let alone the deep earth mining of lithium in China. There's just so many things, but there's all this like PR, right? Look at this. Look at this shiny thing over here. Look at this shiny thing over there. It's just funny to me sometimes.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And one of the things I talk about is the dangers is Anjali Mehta, freelance writer at Reuters. She taught me 2 different phrases, and one of them doesn't relate to this, but the other is don't let perfect get in the way, don't let perfect get in the way of good. And, right. And so so that kind of goes against what you and I are kind of saying, but what they're doing and trying to electrify and trying to move these things forward, I applaud it. We have to move forward, right? We've got to find these decisions. What the danger is people going, well, I just don't have to do anything because we're so close to it. And that's not true. We're nowhere near close to converting everything over to electricity or to hydrogen or to methane or to methanol or to ammonia or whatever it happens to be. All these things are being looked at as alternative fuels and being developed. And there's a lot of money being poured into them. While we're burning the hell out of millions and billions of gallons of diesel. And we can be doing something about that right now while we're making these steps. Because guess diesel is going to be burning probably for the next couple weeks.
I would think so. Yeah, absolutely. No, and I was even watching a documentary on coal mining, right?
Yeah.
Coal mining is the number one source for powering electricity today, right?
Yeah.
Now, the second is natural gas. Well, natural gas, you have to mine natural gas. You got to get to it, right?
Yes.
So it's just like, look at this
also
shiny.
Doesn't burn clean.
Look at this shiny thing, but don't worry about all the other stuff to get you to that point. Don't worry about all that. Just look at this shiny.
It also doesn't burn clean. Natural gas isn't a clean fuel. And it isn't renewable. So
right. It is not. It is not. And there's sensible ways to go greener while saving some time and money. There is. And that's what I'm super excited to be working in this sustainability arena with you. And the thing is, big changes are happening, which represents big opportunities for those who are paying attention.
Amen. I'm with you, brother. I'm excited about it too. I mean, I tell people, some people look at it this way. Well, it's an expense and, they're not going to do it until they're absolutely dragging, kicking, screaming, doing it right for various different reasons. It's going to put a big drag on my company. It's a pain in the butt. It's going to cost money. I'm going to have to go to the board and explain why we're not as efficient or my OR or this line on my P&L isn't looking as good as it is, when there's absolutely options like CyberFuels that will make it look better. You're going to have to explain why that P&L line looks so good. Right. And your ESG report looks so good, right? That's what you're going to have to explain, and why you haven't done it sooner. Maybe, what I mean? It's going to be the explanation that you're going to have to go through. But I want to say there's a whole new blue oceans of opportunity out there to improve your company, improve your bottom line, and improve your impact, and actually make it positive on the environment, the social environment and the natural environment.
Absolutely. And that's why I have so much fun doing these shows, Michael. We talk about moving things forward and actually helping. And we're not talking about using methane bubbles to power a rail engine or something. I mean, it's like there are actually things you can do right now to get this going. So, I always have fun on these episodes recording with you, Michael.
Are they going to what are they going to do? They're going to get rid of the coal car and we're going to have like a waste car there. You just put bio waste in the car behind the engine and it's just producing methane as you're rolling.
They're going to capture, what they're going to do is they're going to back cows into a trailer. They're going to have a soap bubble. They're going to capture the methane. They're going to put that in a rail car of its own. And then they're going to pump the methane into the rail engine. I think that's where I see that going.
That makes sense. I think I saw that on Dr. Seuss one.
Yes, absolutely. No, but it's fun. It's fun to be doing these recordings with you and working to move the needle, as they say.
Absolutely. Did you see Portland is going to do a zero emission delivery zone? See that?
I did not see that one yet.
Yeah, it's like 16 square blocks in downtown Portland.
Very interesting.
Yeah, the delivery vehicles will have like 3 stations where they can drop off and transfer deliveries to non-emission vehicles to then do the delivery.
Very interesting. And I know I saw a little bit of news coming out of Washington State. They've passed some bills and got some grant money and some incentives going on trying to reduce the carbon footprint or carbon emissions, I should say, there as well. So there's, every week I see more and more. There's more and more tailwinds to making things happen. And it's just that, like you said, companies can't just go broke. or they won't be around anymore. So they have to do things that make sense as well, so it's a mix.
Well, I mean, here's a point, Andy, and maybe it's not a good one. Maybe it is. I mean, it's me. So it's 50-50 at best that it's going to be a good point, but
not true.
When you look at things like Portland, right? I happen to think that eventually the delivery systems within like cities and major metropolitan areas, heavily populated areas, will be like a utility, right? And it'll be controlled. And you have to bid to that area, and you'll have to meet certain criteria, right? And maybe there's one or two providers. I think that's the way it's going to go eventually, because you can't have 15 trucks delivering packages down your street every day like I do, which is ridiculous, but we do.
Yeah, right.
Dumping every time it goes by, it dumps 6 more pounds of nitrous oxide into your lungs, by the way, every time a truck goes by. Right. So, which is ridiculous, but you got to have it today. Anyways, so here's the thing. You start getting these municipalities and cities that get millions of dollars, and I'm not kidding, it's millions of dollars to do these type of tests and these type of things where now you can't deliver within certain parts of Portland, Oregon, or you have to stop and transfer it to an electric vehicle or a non-emitting vehicle. It doesn't say if it's yours or if it's theirs or if it's somebody else's or what it is, but you're not going to be able to deliver inside there without unless you stop and transfer it, right? Well, what if you already had an electric vehicle? What if you were already using CyberFuels and you were already doing something about it? My point is this: if you sit back and wait for solutions, stupid things happen. If you push the needle forward and work towards those solutions that you think are best for your company and that are promising for your company, we can get some good solutions down and avoid a lot of these silly trial and error things that seem to stick around for years. As long as there's money flowing between pockets, and especially in government levels, some things stick around for a long time, right? I mean, once you make a commission or a House committee, never goes away.
Right. Absolutely. No, there's definitely a lot of that. No doubt about it. But good news is there's things we can do right now. There's things that fleets are doing right now, and they're reducing their fuel costs by 26 to 95 cents for every gallon of fuel that they burn. That's happening.
26 to 95 cents
net.
I know I've asked you this, and I know I've asked you why the big range. People are going, wow, that's a heck of a range. Yes. I'll be there between noon and 6. What are you? Are you the cable company? What is that? What is 25? Why 25 to 96? I know you know the answer.
Yep. It's because of different operations and what they do with those engines, right? The studies have shown anywhere from 8% to 30.3% fuel economy improvement based on the application, right? Yeah. If you're doing a little step van and you're stopping at every third house, you're not burning that engine like a frac spread, which burns 20 hours a day, right? Going at 60 to 90%. So it's just based on the application of where it's being used, And so there is a broad range, but on average, it's 20% from all the lab and field studies we've done.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, that makes sense. Hey, one last thing. I read this article, and it was an MIT, the Department of Transportation Sustainability, or School of Transportation Sustainability, something at MIT. Very simple thing. Listen to this, dude. They saved this LTL company, right? They reduced their emissions and their consumption by like 10%, right? By rerouting their trucks, not so that they didn't take steep slopes, right?
Yeah.
And so that they delivered their heaviest loads first during the day.
Right.
Right. So if you got 50 loads, you're delivering your heaviest first, even though they were driving up to 25 to 30% further, they still reduced consumption because they routed them in a way that took sustainability in mind. Put CyberFuels in that truck and route it that way.
Absolutely. Man, I worked in the fleet routing and GPS software realm for 14 years, and we were helping companies reduce their on-road miles by 10 to 20%, right? Big time impact. But imagine doing that while also incorporating don't take so many heavy hills and so many left turns and all of that. I mean, yes, there's money to be had there, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely there is.
Yeah.
There
absolutely.
is. Yep.
Well,
Drop
very
the dime
cool.
and call me or Andy, and let's get this going.
That's right. Click the link below on Michael's special Sustainiacs page, and let's get this thing rolling.
Rock and roll, baby. Let's do it. I love it.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks for listening or watching, everybody. And we will see you again soon. Take care.
Bye. Peace and love.
Peace and love.